Welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry.
And I'm Lily.
And before we go any further, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on that bell notification. That way, when we are doing our thing, YouTube lets you know. Today, we continue Lily's top 50 board games of all time, and in particular, we're covering which games, Lily?
Number 20 to 11.
All right. Let's get straight to it. What's number 20?
Woohoo! Number 20, an all-time favorite, Sushi Go Party.
Woo!
So last time we reviewed Sushi Roll.
Yes.
Right? And that Sushi Go Party has morphed into like my favorite game other than Sushi Go. Like I don't think we play Sushi Go anymore. Right? We play Sushi Go Party.
Yeah, Sushi Go Party is just an upgraded version of Sushi Go with more content.
Why would anybody play Sushi Go when you have like all the expansions in Sushi Go Party? So great game. It fits right into my Asian theme that I've been in for like a couple years now. So love it. You do not have to eat sushi. You do not have to know sushi. You just have to play sushi. So it is a card game. And this one has a little board, which the original Sushi Go does not come with a board. It's just a plain card.
Yeah.
So this one, that's the beauty of it, because it has so many cards that no two games will be the same. It is party, so therefore it does not play well with the two-player games. It's not something we choose to do. We probably would go Sushi Roll if it was just the two of us.
Definitely better, yeah.
Yeah, but with a lot of different people, you definitely would enjoy this one more. Mm-hmm. So evidently you're not gonna do all of them, but whatever ones you decide to go, like there are some that are permanent fixtures, like the nagiris and the salmon and the squid rolls. But other than that, you could kind of pick your own menu. Go, go shopping.
Yes.
Like if you're in a restaurant.
And the rulebook actually recommends a few different menu combinations. We kind of wing it.
We really do.
But they range from things like, hey, this is a light, easy, friendly game to, hey, this is a brutal, vicious, beat your enemy type of game.
And that's because a lot of them, to get points, you have to get like a combination of 3 cards of the same type. And if you only get 2, let's say you get negative points instead of getting like positive 10, you end up getting like negative 7.
Sure, yeah.
If you're like on an even number or an odd number. So it's just a lot of little twists and things that they added to it. Really loved it. Sushi Go Party is definitely the way to sushi.
All right, real quick, I just want to point out this was actually number 6 on your overall list a year ago.
Really?
So it has dropped down quite significantly, considering where it's at on this part of the list. A really high game dropping down to 20. It's notable.
I mean, what did I know a year ago, right? I was so young back then.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Well, you're more into Chinese now. This is Japanese. You've moved
Exactly. I mean, they have not made a wonton one, so until they do, Sushi Go Party, the way to go. But it is in my shelf, right? Where we'll post a picture at some point later, where I keep all my, notable games. It's definitely first and front, So Sushi Go Party.
All right, what's your number 19?
Oh, really quick. Can you find that on Target?
Oh yeah, you can. Well, not Sushi Go Party, but I'm pretty sure Sushi Go.
You can find it on Target, people.
Yes.
Target members. We do not get anything from them, but find it on Target.
Yet. So what's your number 19?
Number 19, Carcassonne. The Castle. Carcassonne the Castle. Harry here looked for this game like high and dry, right? So you kept on writing to different people on Board Game Geek, kept on checking different places. Apparently it's an out-of-print edition.
Yes, it is.
And it was so worth it. He actually got like a brand new shrink-wrapped copy.
Yes.
For 30-something
for like $35 plus the shipping and handling, but still that's a sweet deal. That's kind of like Carcassonne, regular Carcassonne price.
It's unheard of. So Carcassonne the Castle, if you know anything about Carcassonne, what makes Carcassonne is the fact that you can play it in an open space, right? It is essentially like turn taking, but puzzle making at the same time. And you can take, you let your imagination explore. You could make any shape, so long as the table does not end, you should be fine. Carcassonne the Castle brings a different twist to it, which is probably why it wasn't as popular, because it just went against that whole the world is your oyster, and it made it confined. So Carcassonne the Castle gives you outward confined little boards with hollow spaces inside, which you then can go ahead and fill in. But of course, because the boards have borders, and those borders you have to have specific tiles alongside the borders, then it makes the game a little bit more intricate, because at some point, let's say you need specific tiles that match those things, you're gonna end up having like open spaces, having tiles that don't mismatch, and you can't expand past whatever it is you set it up originally. Either way, I really liked it. I found it was really cool. It's very thematic. You do not score with cities and roads. I mean, you do score with roads, but you score with like rooftops and
it's like they call it houses and towers.
Houses and towers. So it's like a different way of scoring. I'm pretty sure I won.
You've won.
I won.
I'm sure you've won.
I definitely won. You also, instead of having like beasts in the fields or whatever,
track?
I am. Instead of having beasts in the fields or anything like that, like where you, or what else was there on regular?
Oh yeah, like farmers.
You have this little tents, and then you collect and multiply the tiles by the amount of tents in your little open space that connects, and that also gives you a little boost in your score.
Sure.
You can connect different towers and rooftops, or houses and rooftops, you know, and you end up scoring for those as well. And I think you need a minimum amount of like 6, wasn't it? There's this specific number that you need a minimum amount for it to count, or for it to give you like bonus points.
I'm not sure. I think there's some bonus tiles that you collect.
Tiles that,
because there's the walls are a scoring track. Like the scoring track in regular Carcassonne, but each of the corners in the walls has 2 numbered spaces that if you perfectly land on this, if you time and calculate your scoring decision perfectly, and you perfectly land on this corner of the wall, the score track, you snatch a random bonus tile there that helps you score points in additional ways. I think it has a lot of cool, neat features that distinguishes it from regular Carcassonne.
No, for sure. And I think, that's what it was. You're both competing to see who has the biggest red roof.
Yes, the biggest house.
The biggest house, and with the most consecutive corners or whatnot. So anyway, that really will win you the game if you. It's like a tie.
Yeah, that's definitely
so the bitter end.
It's a little bit of a catch-up mechanism too, because the way it works is that whoever has the biggest house is going to score points for all the empty spaces. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to fill up the entire castle. All the empty spaces, and there's always at minimum going to be like 16 empty spaces. So that means if you score the biggest house, you're going to score a 16-point bonus.
Which is what happened to me when I won.
Yes.
Just so you all know, Carcassonne the Castle, to go on with our thematic medieval theme that we love so much.
Awesome. And this was new to your list this year. Okay, so let's move on.
It's going to be new to yours because you're probably not going to find it. But that's okay. You can join Harry's review. I'm sure he's had many.
All right, let's move on to your number 18.
Number 18. Woo! Is this a new game for this year?
No.
But we've played it a lot.
Just made the cut last year.
We've loved it a lot. In the year of the dragon. Slow-mo, right? In the year of the dragon, the game where you could feel like you are beating the odds to survive.
Yeah.
Does anything sound familiar to you? Definitely a game that we found ourselves playing during 2020. Yeah. I wonder why, right? So this is a game where you have essentially bad things happen to you.
Yes.
Right? Like you know your fate. The only thing is that you do know your fate ahead of time, and so you could prepare for said bad things ahead of time. There are years of famine, there's years of war, there's years where the kings end up collecting more taxes. There are years where there's illness in the land. There are years where fireworks happen and you got to prepare for that. I mean, there's just years for everything. There's 2 of each, and they could be scattered anywhere within like a 10 slot. Would you say 10 slot?
Yeah, 2 of the different events. 2
of each event, and they're not necessarily consecutive. The game is nice enough to let you have 2 freebies at the beginning, so you could like go ahead and like start collecting farmers and start like harvesting and start preparing with money and start having like a little bit of a stash.
Yeah.
Because like it's
prepare for the
brutal.
first couple events. Yeah.
It's brutal. It's not the prettiest look. It does have the prettiest looking cover. It is not the prettiest looking actual game.
Oh yeah, no, the board is very unattractive.
They spent all of it here and none of it there. But that's okay because I find the mechanism so cool. It's more like a Parcheesi board, really nothing big with a board, but the way that you're trying to build temples, right? These are temples. What are you calling?
Palaces, I think
Palaces.
they refer to.
They're calling palaces. And then those are the ones that you end up scoring for at the end of the game. You also score those ones during each turn. So whoever has the majority ends up scoring like 1 or 2 more points every turn. So you're always like having to be like, should I build? Because then I have more turns where I will score more. But then I have to provide food and medicine and a bunch of stuff for more people. So that's always the case.
Yeah.
I have only won this game once.
No, as a matter of fact, I think I've only won this game like once or twice.
No, I won it by like 2 points max.
It's no. You always win a close game, but you've won.
A close game.
You've won more often than I have.
Really? Anyway, I don't remember winning.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember feeling like I won. You know, like I need a convincing victory.
I thought you kept track.
I do, but like I have to feel like I win. Yeah. Winning by 1 point just feels meager. But that's how competitive this game is.
Yes.
It does have a really cool mechanism where you get to pick who goes first each turn, and that makes a difference because whoever goes first onto one side and picks certain resources, if you want to go there to pick those same resources, you got to pay a price. So going first is definitely an advantage. Harry always goes first, yet I somehow managed to win, right? But anyway, it has like 2 little boards. One that is inside the game that keeps track of who's going first, and the other one that keeps track of the actual points that will win you the game eventually. So just because you're going first, it doesn't mean that you're going to win. Just so you know.
Yes, that's
a lesson that Harry
I've learned that the hard way.
Has had to learn the hard way. But in the Year of the Dragon, highly recommended. What kind of game is this? Is this like a European style?
It's definitely.
Why would you say this?
In the lineage of Euro style games, but it's kind of like its own beast. It's a Stefan Feld game, but it's very different from his other games. There's some, card drafting or tile drafting going on and resource management, but it's a survival game, like you mentioned.
It's a survival game. It's like, I don't know, you're never gonna feel like you're making it. Mm-hmm. Like you're always gonna lose at something. You're just having to pick your poison and pick what you're going to not want to lose at. Yeah. Right? So yeah.
And by the way, this was
really cool.
This was number 8 on your list last time, so it has dropped a little bit. But
it's number 18, right?
Number 18.
Number 18. Well, it's dropped 10 points, but it still kept up high. So I consider 18 the same as 8. I think I just have played more games nowadays.
Awesome. All right. So what is your number 17?
Balderdash. Still don't know what that word means. Pretty sure it's a word. Could be in German. Not too sure. But Balderdash, I don't know. We've played this game even way back before we had children. When we were, in Maine, and we had like a pretty good game group that we used to play with. So I'm never going to let this one go. I am forever emotionally attached to all the amazing times we had playing it in a party. I mean, it's just silly. It could be fun. It could be witty. You're essentially writing descriptions of whatever the cards are saying, whether it's a movie, whether it's a bunch of letters. How do you call those letters?
Initials.
An acronym,
initials,
right? So like an initials. What does whatever stand for? Write me the hypnosis for this movie, and the other person, the person that's sitting out on the game, gets to pick and see which one is the true. Which one fools them? Which one do they think is the true description? And the true one is actually in there too. Mm-hmm. So sometimes somebody gets it right, and there's like 2 very similar ones, and you're like, all right, well, we're all gonna vote for that. So either way, awesome game. I have seen it everywhere. This is a pretty common game.
I think it typically you can find it in a Target, but
Like a Barnes and Nobles. I just saw it at Barnes and Nobles.
Oh, really? Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boulder Dash, the way to go. Definitely a great game to have in your collection.
And it was ranked number 16 on your list last year, so it's only dropped one spot. Look at that. Holding steady.
It's not going to drop.
All right.
It's not going to drop.
And what's this year's number 16?
Number 16, true to my roots, Cuba. Yay! So Cuba is a game that Harry gifted me along with Santiago de Cuba, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago for your birthday.
For my birthday. So he had to go high and mighty, all over the place trying to look for it because it was out of print. But a great expansion to Santiago de Cuba. Have to make sure which one I'm saying, Santiago or Cuba. Cuba is a card game alongside with also trying to go around and fulfilling things. So it's better. It also has the the mechanism of bidding. So you get to pick whatever legislations are going to be passed as well.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful game as well.
Oh, the board is gorgeous. Artist Michael Menzel made this board. He's famous for Pillars of the Earth, Stone Age, lots of these other very renowned boards within the hobby. Beautiful, beautiful board.
So, I mean, not only are you like fulfilling the ships that are coming with the different resources, and you're trying to find those resources, you're also building buildings that are, I think there's just more buildings on this one. And you have the cards that give you different abilities.
Yes.
Along with your own little place where you're building stuff in.
Yeah, like a little hacienda.
Like a little hacienda. So it's like a expanded version of what Santiago de Cuba would be.
Well, Santiago de Cuba is actually a truncated version of Cuba because this came out first.
This came first, but I learned it second. So I always think of that other one as the first one.
Sure.
But Cuba, the way to go.
Yes, and this was actually number 21 on your list last year. So for whatever reason, it's jumped up a few spots. Good choice, Lily. Really good game. All right, so what is your number 15?
Number 15, can you believe it? 2020 having been an election year. 1960.
Wow.
1960 looks a lot intimidating. I have to say, I was not excited to learn it. I was like, I'm never going to enjoy that game. It is such a fun game. It is a two-player game between the remake of the 1960 election between Kennedy and Nixon. Right? Did I say that right? Yep. I have since learned how the Electoral College works, how we have lost votes.
Educational game.
Certain states, the things that you have to campaign for, the issues that matter, civil rights, the media, and how it makes a difference if you invest into it or not. How it could bring you down. I don't know. I just have not won. It doesn't matter who I am. If I'm Kennedy, I'm still losing. If I'm Nixon, I'm still losing.
I'm just a really good politician.
Harry needs to go into politics. That's just the honest truth. 1960. It's a really cool game.
Do I count on your vote?
So I mean, it's the way it works is like the road to the election. It has phase tracks, right? So it has like 7 different phases, right?
Yes.
And each phase has different turns. So like 8 different turns, let's say. But they go pretty quick, and it's just about playing cards and either trying to collect votes so you could increase your presence, let's say your influence in certain states, and hopefully eventually win them towards the national vote. But Harry here makes sure that he takes away all those influences that I just spent the whole turn doing. So I mean, it's just like ruthless back-to-back game and underhandedness. Every card you play could be used against you, type of thing. So 1960, the way to go.
Really cool. And, you definitely need to know where to campaign and where to invest your strategy on, because not every state is created equal, honestly speaking, from an electoral college perspective.
Texas, Michigan,
New York,
and Pennsylvania, guys. Those are the ones that win the battle in this election.
All right. Your number 15, which is new to your list this year. Now let's get to your number 14.
Number 14. Is this also new?
This is also new.
New to me, Tikal. So, what a great game, guys. Well, anything that Rio Grande really makes is awesome. I feel that we got the older version of Tikal.
Yes.
So, we do not have the true dimensionality that the new version gives you, where you can build your temples 3-dimensional. This one just has the little slabs, and you just put the number on top of them. And
Yeah.
that's what really
It's
represents.
just a flat tile, two-dimensional tile.
Yeah. But either way, it's a pretty good game. It has the hexagonal places similar to Catan, but you're essentially exploring the jungles of Tikal, trying to find the buried temples and trying to unearth them and build them up.
Yes.
And whoever ends up getting the most temples and the highest towers and happens to be next to them wins.
Yes, absolutely. Really cool.
Really cool. Very simple. I find that I reviewed the other one, which was Cusco, right?
Yes.
So, and we have not played the third one, which is Mexica.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of excited to see what the third one would bring. But this was the first out of the trilogy that we learned. So, really, really cool game. Do not be scared by the daunting eyes.
Yes, but I must say you and I do agree on this because I rank this above Cusco as well, even though I do think Cusco is a fine game, and because it's a more modern edition, definitely the prettier game out of our two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a better game for me.
I find it to be.
Yeah.
But maybe because I always hold in my heart the ones I learned first.
Yes, maybe.
Tikal for you.
All right, so what is your number 13?
Number 13. Harry was surprised, but I am not, and you wouldn't be either because you know that I fall for the perfect blue. Shipwrights of the North Sea. Do not let the ugly face fool you. It's a beautiful game.
I'm sorry, dude.
It is also a ruthless game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which I definitely enjoy. Against Harry in particular. Shipwrights of the North Sea. You are, I guess, a Nordic person, a Viking.
Sure, yeah.
Somewhere between Sweden and Norway. I don't know. You're somewhere over there, and you're trying to build different ships.
Yep.
The catch is there's only 3 ships that you can build, and you have to make sure you have the right person.
2. You can only ship 2 at a time.
Well, but 3 in total.
4 in total.
Oh,
4 in total and 2 at a time.
2 at a time.
You can work on 2 at a time.
Once you commit to whatever ships you're building, you cannot, for whatever reason, undo them. So you gotta know early on which ones you're going to commit. There are certain ones that are warships that will give you more points, but then there are certain ones which are not warships that are not worth as much, but will give you an extra point at the end because if all of them are in the same category. So there's definitely more than one way to do it. It is a card game, so you're you're first of all needing to find the right person to build specific ships. What are they called? The tradesman?
Something like that. I forget the name. Yeah.
Either way, you're like, this guy can build 3 different ones, and you could do it. So you have to have the right combination while your opponent here is trying to like take it away from you.
Sure.
So better to have multiple of the ones you want to end up doing.
Yeah.
You also have to peruse this very thoroughly to make sure you know everything that everybody's supposed to do. So it becomes your perfect alibi. So really like the game. You end up trying to destroy the other person's ships midway. Once the ships are built, nothing can be done to destroy them. So it's all about the process and trying to stop the other player from winning at it. Would you like to add anything else?
Well, this game is
amazing graphics.
In lots of ways a typical Euro card drafting resource management game, but it does add a very cutthroat element that maybe most typical Euro players or gamers might not be interested in.
Just love it.
But I do think that you can modify the game because basically you have these characters that are in the deck that are cutthroat characters like the assassin and some other
you could remove
warlord.
them.
But you could always remove those from the deck and play a very friendly version of this game where it's just a matter of who can be most efficient in their resource management, right?
What's the fun in that, right?
Yeah.
So do not remove them and show the other player that you too can become the Shipwrights of the North Sea.
All right.
That didn't make much sense.
And this game is...
It's awesome. I have a lot of fun beating Harry at it. That's the main thing.
Please. And this game is new to your list this year. So, what is your number?
A guy game.
Number 12. What's your number 12?
Number 12 is like the difference in boxes, right?
What's
My
that?
number 12, Bohnanza the Duel. Isn't this a game that Lucy gave us?
Yes, this is a game that
Thank
our
you,
good friend
Lucy.
Lucy gave us.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lucy.
Great gifts last a lifetime. And this gift has lasted us like 3 years, I swear. Bohnanza, for those of you who have not seen Bohnanza, a pretty good game that is a multiple player game. This is the 2-player version of the game. With Bohnanza, it doesn't work well if there's only 2 players. I feel like it's always better with 3 or more.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the original game, you cannot play 2-player unless you use a variant because it's a trading game. This game makes up for the trading by creating their gift mechanism where you offer a gift.
You have to have this bean.
And players have to make the choice. It's kind of like a little bit of a tug of war. Do I want to accept their offer or offer them something, right? So that hopefully they can offer me something after they reject my offer and they can offer me something better. It's
but
really
you cannot
a game of chicken.
bluff. I mean, you could bluff, but if you bluff and you're caught on your bluff, you end up having to pay them a coin, which coins are very hard to come by in this game. But you will learn all the beans there are to learn. You know, so there's that component. I'm not sure how much educational there is. They do have this little plots of lands where you could, you know, plant your 3 different thingies, and you need to collect multiples of different beans. So the ones that are harder to come by will, you know, score you for 1 to 2 for 1 coin 2 points, or for 2 coins 3 points, and so on and so forth. For the ones that are more common, you need to have like multiple in order to score more. So I mean, the thing is that you have to plant them in order, so the numerical value matters, and it's in sets of 2. So it's like even numbers, right, from number 2 to number 20. And after you get to number 20, let's say, or number 18, you're gonna have to sell. You know, so there's only 3 places where you could possibly plant, and every turn you're planting something, either from your opponent that is forcing you to plant something you don't want, or from your hand. You have to plant at least something every time. So really cool game. This one adds the component of the, what do you call those?
They're like bonus cards that allow you to
cards.
score points for having certain patterns in your bean fields, which I think adds an additional cool element to Bohnanza, in my opinion.
So you don't score like a whole point, you score like 70% of it.
Yeah, or 10 coins out of 100 or whatever. Yeah.
I swear I didn't know what this meant for like the first year we played it. I felt like I wasn't taking advantage of it because it is bonus. But essentially, if you or the other player ends up having like 6 cards of the same type in a row, then you could play this card at any point. If anybody else has 2 cards of the same type, followed by 2 cards of the other type and a different random card, even it doesn't have to be the whole set. It just has to be the last.
Yeah,
little
you have to count from the bottom.
From the bottom up. So you get to score that way too. So sometimes the person, you think you're in the lead because you've sold more beans or whatnot, but this guy has been like racking up points all along. And the decimals can score you the win.
And it's cool because you could actually score these bonus cards off of somebody else's bean field. So sometimes even the trade offers that you make might have that in mind. Like, yeah, let me give this person that bean because you know what? Yeah, I'm going to help them, but I'm also going to be helping myself a little bit because I'm about to accomplish this bonus card.
I'm about to get a point while the person's going to be stuck there for a while because they're going to end up messing up their plan.
Yeah.
Bohnanza the Duel, very, very cute game. Lots of fun packed away in a tiny, tiny box.
Really cool.
If you like planting, as you know, you'll know in your next video what my top 10 games are. You'll see the trend there. I love anything planting, anything farming like. So if you like that, this will be a game for you.
Yes, and this was actually your number 3 game of all time last year. So wow, how the mighty have fallen.
I know, right?
It's number 12, almost 10 spots, but hey, it was in your top 5 for 2 years, top 3 last year. Now it's down to number 12.
It's really your fault because you haven't played it with me.
Well, I think it's a little bit overrated.
If we don't have the same top 10 list, like, I don't play the games.
Oh,
but my children are growing.
Now I'm to blame. Our
children are growing, and one day they will play with me.
Okay.
Bohnanza, the Duel.
Well, let's get to the last game for this particular video. Your number 11 board game of all time.
Okay, I went to the gym just for this. Oh my gosh. 7 Wonders. Woohoo! Harry here has packed, I think, a ton of different.
Careful.
Oh my gosh! Right? How many? Look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like he has,
There's
there's like a hobby within a hobby. He has essentially made everything so neat and collected and layers upon layers of stuff.
Not sure if neat's the right word, but
Well,
yeah, it's collected.
It's collected and it fits. How many expansions are here?
I think there's 4. Well, I have the Leaders expansion, the Cities expansion, the Battles expansion, and the Wonders expansions are all in this box. I do have the Armada expansion, but it could not fit in here. But yeah, this insert in particular accommodates for the expansions.
I never understood what the name Seven Wonders meant, because honestly, the game has so little to do with the actual wonders of the world.
I guess so.
They're like thematically in the background.
Yeah.
Like so much in the background. You're supposed to be building your wonders, but you could win without having built your wonders. Sometimes your wonders suck and like doesn't give you like the don't give you much ability to like do anything else. So like you're not gonna spend your efforts doing that when you could be doing something else like drawing cards or building up stacks of the same type of cars, so you could like end up exponentially multiplying them at the end, or fortifying your army. I mean, whatever the case, it is a really fun game. It is those type of games that you take the deck of cards and you pass them from person to person clockwise, and then the counterclockwise the next turn. So definitely scarcity. If you see a card you want, take it, because you're probably not going to see it again. Somebody else is going to snatch it. So it has 3 phases. The first phase, you're definitely trying to have as much resources so you could then purchase things in the future. So people who do not have resources have to rely on their allies, which are the people next to them, but have to pay them, which you need money for, and you need to buy stuff to have money. Anyway, as it is in real life. It plays really well with multiple players. I think we played it with 7. Have we played it with 6?
No, I don't think. Maybe 6.
One
Definitely
time.
5 several times, but no, we never played it with 7.
But we've played it plenty of times, like 4 to 5 is our usual. This is Harry's like one of the top games, guys. So you know,
Maybe.
so you know, as you could see, Harry's top games are usually, you can tell them apart because he spends a lot of time making things concise.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that this is actually my number 11
Is it
board
really?
game. Hate to spoil. Check the video,
Oh
my
my
video,
gosh.
and confirm. I think
It's-
this is my number 11 board game of all time.
It's out of your 10?
It's out of my 10, but even more
What?
impressive, you and I share a game in the same exact spot of all time. That is radically impressive.
You want to play it?
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
What's interesting is this was your number 15 last year. It jumped up 4 spots. I think you actually only played it 1 time this year. It just so happens that that one play was your first victory ever in this game, and I think that is the difference maker as far as bumping it up on your list.
I am pretty sure that is also the first video ever recorded in When Harry Met Board Game.
No, it was one of the earlier ones, but yeah.
My first victory. Check it out.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, that's it for
I mean-
today's list. Lily's 20 to number 11. Our next video, we're finally going to get to it. Lily's 10 favorite board games of all time. Thank you so much for joining us here at When Harry Met Board Games. Please consider clicking on one of the videos on the screen right now. If YouTube is showing them to you, it's because they think there's a really good chance that you will like one of them. Also, check in the description down below for a link to our Patreon account and see how you can support our channel and become more involved in the behind-the-scenes process. Research and find a tier that works for you. This is Harry saying take care, everybody.
And this is Lily. Have a good one.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming.